before we get started, I'd like to thank the Fowler Sons for being our greeters tonight. And can I get a volunteer from the Fowler Son? Perfect. First one, raise your hand. You're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance when we get to that, okay? Yeah, yes. Just give us a couple of seconds. The board met in closed session. No action was taken. I would like to call to order the regular meeting for Sierra Sands Unified School District for November 20th. We will start out with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag led by our Fowler student, and I don't know your name, so. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job. Thank you so much. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you. Move on to item 1, adoption of the agenda. Any changes?
No changes.
Move on to item 2, good things. Anybody have any good things? Mr. Johnson?
So I had a good thing. I had the opportunity to go see the Burroughs Theater Group put on their Shakespeare 3 acts last weekend, and I truly enjoyed Miss Poole, her MC effort to kind of gap fill as we waited for the next scene to get set up. So we had a good time, and it's always nice to see our students involved in theater and the arts, and it's fun to have that in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gamble?
Yeah, I got to visit Fowler Elementary School this past week, and a lot of good things happening at Fowler, and it was very impressive. I think the thing that just continues to blow me away at elementary schools is when you go into the rooms, how beautiful they make that environment. And it's just like, I don't know how elementary teachers do it, but all those rooms were in just they're all just perfect in their setup. So really enjoyed that.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. Anyone else? No? Yes? No?
I'm good.
Okay. All righty.
Good, thanks.
Thank you. We'll move on to item 3, approval of minutes of the special and regular meeting of October 16 with the special meeting of October 23rd. Any changes? These minutes will stand. Move on to item 4, programs and presentations. 4.1, community partnerships.
We're inviting Principal Shelley McKenzie to share an update on a recent community partnership at her school.
Good evening, President Scott, board members, Superintendent Dr. Moore, staff and community. During the month of October, Councilman Kyle Blaze, Assistant City Manager Travis Reed, and Chief of Police Mario Iset visited our schools to speak with the second grade students. Our schools, meaning ours and mine, Gateway and D-Way. Their presentation highlighted the important roles they play in local government and the impact their work has on citizens. This perfectly complemented the students' recent social studies unit on federal, state, and local government. The visit was made even more memorable as the students had the opportunity to go inside the Bearcat tactical vehicle. They thought that was amazing, as did my staff. We had a great time going inside the vehicle. Lots of fun. And you'll notice that we are wearing our pajamas on that day because it was Red Ribbon Week. So, you know, it's always great to be wearing your pajamas when you have distinguished members of the community coming to your school. But they were really great about it. We had a lot of fun. And I just wanted to say we were very grateful for their time and commitment to engaging with our students. They spoke about each of their individual jobs. The kids were really engaged and asked a lot of really great questions for little kids. And, you know, we just really appreciate that opportunity that they, you know, came out and spoke with our students. So we just wanted to say thank you.
Shelley, thank you for sharing that with us. Move on to item 4.2. Mr. Auld going to be presenting lost 4 students some recognition for an action that just occurred.
Sorry. I'd like to have a student come up. Jace, would you please join me? So I hadn't known Jace, but I do know of an event that occurred because as I was starting a meeting on a Monday morning, I think it was November 3rd, I was interrupted and asked to respond to Las Flores because there was a report of a student down on their way to school, before school. Thankfully, it was not a student, it was Jace. And Jace was not hurt or ill. Instead, he was helping and being a good Samaritan. So, Jace, I have something I want to read for the audience. If you were at the city council meeting last night, this is Jace's second night to be in this space and to be recognized. So you may have already heard this story, but I'm going to tell it again for those who haven't. So on November 3rd, a remarkable event occurred as students at Las Flores Elementary School arrived and walked to school. Jace, a fourth grader, was walking the short distance from his home to school. He was walking with, I believe, a first grader who is a family friend. As the two walked towards Las Flores, Jace noticed an adult woman walking in front of them who was behaving strangely. He instinctively knew something was wrong. Moments later, the woman collapsed on the ground. She was having an apparent seizure. Jace immediately came to the woman's aid. However, realizing such a situation could be traumatizing, and because he's very thoughtful, he actually turned the first grader away so that they didn't see what was taking place. Not yet having a phone of his own, right? You don't have a cell phone yet? All right. I was going to say maybe you should get one now, but no. I better not do that. Jace attempted to wave down vehicles that were passing on the street. Finally, a car pulled over. He asked the driver to call 911. Then he turned to focus on the woman who had injured her head in the fall. Jace laid down beside her and attempted to keep her from enduring any additional injuries. Thankfully, the Kern County Fire Department arrived quickly after the 911 call, as did Liberty Ambulance and the Ridgecrest Police Department. And due to Jace's quick thinking and action, the woman received the medical care she needed. In addition, due to his thoughtful nature, the much younger family friend was spared some of the trauma because Jace decided to shield him from witnessing the scene. Jace, we want to commend you for your quick action, your thoughtful care, and willingness to help someone in need. And this was a complete stranger, right? Right. His quick thinking and subsequent actions were remarkable. As such, the Sierra Sands Unified School District Board of Education is honored to recognize Jace as an exemplary young man whose maturity is beyond his years and whose character is exceptional. At this time, I would invite Board President Mike Scott, Superintendent Dr. April Moore to come down and present Jace with a certificate of recognition. We also want to recognize Jace's mom and grandpa are here and congratulate them on raising such a fine young man. So thank you.
We have item 5, no public hearings. Item 6, report and communication. 6.1, student members report. Jasmine.
Good evening, everyone. From Buick STEM Academy, over the past month, Buick has made exciting strides in building culture, community, and student opportunities. We soft-launched our new SOAR Code of Conduct, safe, organized, accountable, and respectful, which is already helping set clear expectations for students across campus. Our Watchdogs program kicked off, recruiting dads of great students to volunteer on campus, strengthen school-family partnerships, and bring positive male role models into the classroom. Academically, we completed our first trimester and held our first round of parent-teacher conferences, ensuring strong communication between families and staff. Our newly formed leadership team is doing a wonderful job shaping the future direction of Buick. Parent engagement has been a highlight this fall. In October, families joined us for a school-wide trick-or-treating event, which was a fun and festive way to bring parents onto campus. This month, we continued the tradition with our Thankful Thursday lunch on the lawn, giving families another opportunity to connect with their children and our school community. School spirit was on full display during Red Ribbon Week, with students participating in a spirited dress-up challenge. Student leadership is also growing, with ASB now off the ground, alongside the launch of a creative writing club. STEM opportunities have expanded as well. Our third grade enjoyed a docent visit from the Matarango Museum to align with the FOSS science curriculum, while second grade took a field trip to the museum to tie into their Project Lead the Way curriculum. On Monday, our Project Lead the Way robotics class visited the Burroughs robotics team, providing students with real-world exposure to advanced robotics. In addition, our robotics club participated in their second competition, continuing to build momentum and showcase student innovation. It has been a great month of growth, engagement, and celebration at Buick, and we are proud of the progress of students, staff, and families that they are making together. China Lake Junior High School. The 2025-26 school year continues to move forward on a strong and positive trajectory at China Lake Junior High School. Students and staff are deeply engaged in academics, activities, and community building efforts that support both student access and school culture. Our ASB has been highly active in building school spirit, hosting a variety of spirit days that have generated strong student participation. ASB is also preparing for our upcoming school dance scheduled for December 12th, which is shaping up to be a fun and well-attended event. The music department is working diligently in preparation for the winter concert on December 10th, and students have been practicing regularly to showcase their developing skills. We recently held our first Character Awards Assembly, recognizing students who demonstrated empathy, self-direction, and our RISE values. The event was a tremendous success and set a positive tone for the remainder of the year. Additionally, we are preparing for our first No Tardy Party, which will take place this Friday to celebrate students who consistently demonstrate punctuality and responsibility. Our Advisory Enhancement Program continues to show great success, providing structured opportunities for students to set goals, reflect on progress, and connect with staff. After-school tutoring is also in full swing, offering targeted academic support across multiple subject areas and giving students additional tools for success. Both volleyball and cross country recently wrapped up a very successful season, with strong student involvement and steady improvement throughout. Basketball is now gearing up to begin its season, and excitement is building among our student athletes. Our after-school clubs continue to grow and play an important role in helping students stay connected, build friendships, and explore personal interests outside the classroom. We are extremely thankful for the ongoing support we receive from parent group and the broader community. Their partnership plays a vital role in enriching our programs, strengthening our school culture, and ensuring students have every opportunity to thrive. From Mesquite Continuation High School, for Alt Ed, both schools love the Halloween carnival filled with activities, a costume contest, and a cakewalk. Thank you to the Hawkers for helping us create a new process aligning with BHS to have senior portraits at no charge to families for the yearbook, and they can purchase packages for their household. For MHS, we are now up to 9 graduates. Spirit days for the fall were fun, from spooky hats to jersey wearing, and last week they threw in an extra one, soccer mom versus barbecue dad. There was a delay in ASVAB and service member presentations, but we look forward to the military and emergency services sharing their career opportunities. At the fair, MHS won first place ribbons throughout the art contest. For HDS, students are planning their first dance, themed Winter Wonderland. It will be at the JMMS gym, and just as MHS invited them to the carnival, the MHS students are welcome to the dance. The students continue to have regular virtual award assemblies and hangout parties, showing off pets and collaborative or competitive games. Students shared their experience with the videographer to recruit for the new school year during our open enrollment for December 1st to January 15th. For the middle college, 100% of students attending the middle college program at CCCC are passing every class, including their first college course. They also signed up for their next courses, Art and Library 101. I also just completed the signing up for next semester. So it never ends, guys, I'm telling you. There's always something new on the to-do list. Students are planning their passion project and will be presenting to families on the 12th of December. Go Bobcats and Dragons. For Burroughs High School, as we approach the end of the semester, Burroughs continues to thrive and do well. Homecoming week saw fantastic participation with exciting spirit days, a fun-filled rally, a night under the stars, and much more. Caitlin Willis was crowned as homecoming queen, and the senior powder puff team, cheerleaders, and hit drill team took first place. Swept the competition across the board. Can't tell you how proud I am. The senior class float was declared the winner of the class float competition, followed by the juniors, sophomores, and then the freshmen. Our drama department had their fall play, a collection of Shakespeare shorts, on the 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th, and they did absolutely amazing. The blood drive was on the 14th, and we had great participation and support. Robotics had its second competition last weekend, and they did very well. Esports had their final regular season competition on the 13th and are looking forward to the start of the spring season. Volleyball made the playoffs and won a very exciting home playoff game. Cross country competed on Saturday at prelims, and the entire boys varsity team made it to the finals, along with Eve Washburn representing the girls varsity team. Eve Washburn and Silas Aber were both named runners of the year. As fall sports begin to wind down, winter sports are starting, including soccer, basketball, and wrestling. Key Club had a food drive and collected thousands of food items. The North Pole fundraiser is currently going on to help raise money to purchase toys for children in need this holiday season in our community. The Friends of Rachel Club is currently hosting a coat drive. The Ridgecrest Chamber Music Society brought in 4 musicians from out of town to perform for students on Monday. I got to watch it, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. It was amazing. If you ever have a chance to see them out in town, I highly recommend that you go do it. The Burroughs Principal of Engineering class has been participating in a pre-apprenticeship program, which, if the students complete the program, they will earn a certificate that will help them when applying for jobs. Last week, 2 guest speakers came to the class to assist the students with resume building. STEM Day will take place on December 12th, and we will have representatives from many different departments on base and from the community who will conduct presentations for our science and CTE classes. And that is all.
Thank you, Jasmine. I know Mr. Campbell was very happy to see you this evening.
Always
because
happy to see
he
you.
read your report last meeting.
Sorry, I know there was a lot on
No.
last month's.
Move on to item 6.2, report from members of the board. Mr. Ferris?
I did want to share, like others did under good things, had some opportunities to observe exciting things in our district over the last month. I did also get a chance to go see the Burroughs play. Wonderful opportunity to see kids participating in the arts, as Mr. Johnson has said, but to recognize what kinds of things they take away from those opportunities, of being able to present themselves in public in that kind of a way and build their self-esteem and their sense of who they are, it's an amazing thing. I also recognized it was clear that there was an improved sound system in the building, and thanks for the work to see that happened. It makes a difference to the listener. Also had an opportunity to walk several schools, Gateway, Fowler, China Lake Junior High, and Inyokern. And as Mr. Campbell had said, the interiors of the classrooms are amazing. But to me, what's even more amazing is the kinds of things that are happening in that classroom to meet children's needs, and the variety of ways that our teachers and staff approach how many challenges they have in meeting kids' needs. The board's objectives talk about engaged students and engaged staff, and it was clear through those walkthroughs that those objectives are being met. Kids are being challenged, kids are being instructed, instructors are just absolutely engaged in what they're doing, and it gives me hope, it gives me light, because I know the other side of that coin, and we all know this, we have a tremendous amount of challenges. And there are all kinds of things we run into every day that we shake our heads and say, okay, how are we going to overcome this particular obstacle? And we do it by exactly what we're doing, continuing to improve our effectiveness at our jobs and meeting those kids' needs as the variety they are. So hats off to those folks in creating those kinds of environments and engaging the students in that way.
I had another thing I wanted to talk about. 2 weeks ago, I was able to go to China Lake Junior High and just enjoyed the visit and watching the kids, you know, how we've meshed the two schools together, and it just seemed like things were really going well over there. Got to get into some classrooms, and I enjoyed it. And then also, last Saturday, I got to go to the junior high volleyball tournament up at Cerro Coso. Not to mention we had 3 fire drills, but it was interesting to see in a tournament, you never knew who you're going to play, and it was kind of funny. In one of the games, we got to see China Lake Junior High 7th grade versus the 8th grade team, and that was kind of fun to watch. So, but enjoyed that also. Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to item 6.3, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Moore.
Thank you, President Scott. Our month 2 enrollment was 4,941 students, which is only 20 students lower than this time last year and significantly higher than where we ended the year last year. Attendance continues to be a focus, and we're excited to see how our schools and families are responding in this priority area. District-wide attendance for month 2 was 93.3% overall, which is up from 90.9% this time last year. So over about 2.5% higher, a very great start. We're still aiming for our overall goal of 94% or higher district-wide, and we are on the way to that. So appreciate everyone's work to make that happen, including the students and their families. They're an important part of the equation. Since the last board meeting, I enjoyed attending the China Lake Museum ribbon cutting for the STEAM Center and their STEM exhibit hall. Great opportunity for learning in our community. And visiting schools continues to be one of my favorite activities, as several of you have mentioned. And I appreciate leaders from Education Services and our board for joining me on those visits. It's great to see the wonderful learning taking place in classrooms across our district. One of the visits I did was in the evening, seeing the fall play, several mentioned. A lot of fun with Shakespeare. I was impressed with the students in their presenting characters in a fun new light while keeping the original language and storyline. So fun for everyone. We're thankful that the legislature has approved a continuing resolution to reopen the federal government. We're aware of the recent announcement from the U.S. Department of Education regarding interagency agreements that shift administration of certain programs, including Impact Aid, to other federal agencies. At this time, we understand the Department of Ed will retain statutory oversight, but many operational functions will be moving to other agencies, such as the Department of Labor and Health and Human Services. So for Impact Aid, the details remain unclear. It was listed specifically as moving to the Department of Labor along with other programs, and we're staying in connection with our various organizations that help us monitor this, such as NAFIS, which advocates for school districts such as ours that receive Impact Aid. And they've raised important questions about potential impacts on payment timelines and next year's application process and staffing, because as we know, it's a very complicated process with a very complex formula for distribution. So having the experienced analysts and staff is really critical to ensuring that timely resource and accurate payments. We have just submitted our request for $1.2 million in Impact Aid, which is what we do at this time every year. So we'll be monitoring that closely to see if there is an impact. And of course, we're in close communication with Congressman Fong on that, as his office is helping us monitor that as well. So we'll be sharing updates and just keeping track of that, because it could have an important impact. And our goal is to keep things going smoothly and get the resources out where they need to be used. I am looking forward to attending the CSBA conference with our team next month as we receive the Golden Bell Award for our student-centered coaching program. And I'd like to wish a very happy Thanksgiving to our students, staff, and their families, as next week there's no school, but tomorrow there is. So we'll wrap up with a strong Friday and move on to some celebrations with families. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. We'll move on to item 6.4. Report to the Board of Trustees by the Desert Area Teachers Association. Eileen?
I didn't wear this to school. I wore a really cute dress to school, but it wasn't pouring rain. That's the fashion report. President Scott, board members, Dr. Moore, community, colleagues. Whoosh. First thing, I would just like some minor acknowledgement that now that the play is over and I have my life back, I got home and it was raining. But not only did I get up and come here, I put on real clothes. So I did not keep on the pajamas that I was in for about 2 hours. I didn't wear them to school. I went home and changed, put on pajamas. I came back. And I'm feeling pretty proud of myself right now for that. Rainy weather. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote all this. Rainy weather should be honored by all of us staying home. But here we are.
But not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. I'm excited about tomorrow. So I heard there's some time off, and I'm not sure when that is. I think it's next week. So we're all looking forward to it, and it is really challenging this week. It certainly is at the high school. Got a lot of finishing up units, because then when the kids come back, right, we don't want to give them a big test because I'm going to teach them something else. I won't even imagine what the elementary people are going through right now. Let's see. So that leads into something else. So you mentioned, Mr. Campbell, about the classroom at Fowler looking really nice. Nothing new with Fowler. I mean, I'm there every few weeks, and they're neat people. But anytime I hear anybody say, like, oh, the classroom looks great, I always feel like, yeah, go teachers. And I always feel a sense of pride, so it's really neat to hear it. And then everything you said, it's really great to hear all that and to have all the positive stuff that we do brought out in the open, which is great. But I did want to bring up that along with everything that we do in the classroom, we have all these other things, right? Like making sure the classroom looks good, because that we want our kids to feel comfortable. So there are so many things that we do that go far beyond teaching. And I know y'all are aware of it, but sometimes it feels really frustrating when you mention challenges, when there are challenges, as there are every day, and it often feels like the final solution to the challenge is laid on the teacher. And so we're expected to solve these challenges, but we don't get to decide. Our leave is so limited. We have our 10 days, and then we get told, well, you can only do this and you only do that. And that might sound really petty, but we're the professionals, and we know when we need a day off. And so it just feels frustrating when there's a big challenge. Teacher, you got to get in there and solve it. But also you have to, do your adjunct duty, and you darn well better be sick, and you can't just be in a place where you need some time off. And it gets frustrating. However, next week is a day of gratitude. So I do want to thank y'all. I know that we all care about the same things. We just come at them from different perspectives. As I've said before, I think that makes it stronger. And next week, some of us will be relaxing with our grandbabies. So I want to wish you all a very nice holiday. And it is 2 weeks this year, right? The Thanksgiving break? This is your moment to shine and agree with me on that. But anyway, thank you and have a good week.
Thank you, Eileen. Item 6.5, report to the Board of Trustees by the California School Employees Association. Sylvia.
Hello, School Board President, Mr. Scott, Board members, Superintendent Dr. Moore, staff, and community. During our last chapter meeting, safety concerns at China Lake Middle School were again a hot topic. The bus drivers are concerned for their safety as well as the students' safety. It was a lot more concerning earlier this week and today, probably, with the rain. We all know a lot of folks here in Ridgecrest do not know how to drive in the first place, but add rain to it and it becomes more concerning. So we're hoping to get some permanent solutions rather than just some taped up signs that blow away. We really wouldn't want anything bad to happen. Some concerns also were brought up with the ELOPE program and paras, but we want to get some questions addressed before bringing those concerns to the board. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Sylvia. We'll move on to item 6.6, communications from the public. The board will provide time during the discussion of each agenda item for members of the public to comment. At this time, members of the public may address the board on an item not on the agenda. Comments should relate to items of public interest within the board's jurisdiction. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. If appropriate, your comments will be referred to staff for response. When addressing the board, please state your name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. In accordance with the board bylaws, the board will limit the total time for public input to 30 minutes. Those wishing to address the board beyond the 30-minute time limit may do so at the end of the scheduled meeting agenda. I'll open up public comment at 6:30.
Hi, Kathy McCoy. I teach at Pierce, Vice President of Data. I just wanted to share that at our VAPA school, the kids are really starting to take in the elements of art, the concepts we're learning about, and include it in the classroom in our discussions. I wanted to share that we were reading a picture book that goes with our current unit in ELA, and when I pointed out to the students that the illustrator had taken photographs of things in the book, like trees, for instance, the foliage, and cut out the tree from it so that you could see the photograph, like just add texture. Every page we had to stop and discuss, like what the illustrator had included, like a car tire or the wood of the side of the building, and it almost became a competition with all of them wanting to share and then discussing about how that made the book more interesting and kind of drew the eye. And that is not, I've read this book every year. I've pointed that out every year, but this is the first year that I've really had students kind of stop and look at it, not just, well, that's interesting, but really want to talk about it and how it helped to make the book more interesting for them to look at. So we are having a lot of fun over at Pierce with including those elements of art, and so I just wanted to share that happy moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Truly appreciate you coming up and sharing that with us.
Yeah, it's nice.
Good evening. I'm Tristan Kratz. I work at Burroughs High School, and Kathy, that makes my heart so happy because as an art teacher, I know that they're going to come to us even more prepared than they've been, so yay. I want to share a couple of good things that are happening at Burroughs High School that I'm aware of. One, I'd like to share with you some things that are happening in my art classes. As a teacher, not only just in art, but one of the things that I see is a trend with our students that are not, they feel somehow like if they don't have it perfect, they won't try it. So trying to get them to be curious and engaged and take risks has been a real personal goal of mine to try and do in my classrooms. And in art, I figured out how to do that. I don't let them know what the end result's supposed to look like. So we're currently working on a pop art collage, and I'm giving them one step at a time, playing with materials, layering it. They still don't know where it's going, but what I'm seeing happening in my classroom is that they're playing with the paint, they're playing with form, they're playing with ideas. They are looking at other pop artists, and they'll know by the end when we come back next week where it's going, but it's just fun to see them engaged finally and not shutting themselves down. And I'm also very pleased to see that the students that I have in my classroom, both in Art 1 and 2, which is our entry-level class, but also in my upper division drawing class, we have students from the moderate to severe class in that. And you would never be able to tell their work from our other students. They are doing fantastic, and I cannot wait to share that with you when you come to the art show and see, because they are definitely an integral part of our class. They're not separate from the class. My other class members, they love these kids. They are a part. They are not separate, and their work is showing it too. I want to celebrate our math department. Working with UCLA and practicing with the students the type of questions that they would see on the CASP test, as well as exposing them to the rubric so that the students not only could practice the type of questions that would be coming at them, they were made aware of what exactly the goal was, what was expected of them. And as a result, they moved those points, 32.1 point increase on the math CASP test. And that's really only, if you think about it, that's only with half the team playing. Because these are the juniors that elected to take a math class, and yet the other half of that class was not in a math class. and yet they still move that dial. And that is a testament, that is a total shout out to the commitment to the juniors on how well they took the seriousness of that test, but to that math department that really provided and supported those students. I also want to do a shout out to our yearbook, because the yearbook brought 80 years of yearbooks to the Ridgecrest Reconnection Festival, and they were happy to help people remember when, and got an important lesson in the lasting importance of their efforts of creating those yearbooks. And for a PE department, one of the most positive things happening in our PE program is seeing students build confidence through small, everyday successes. It might be a student finally getting a new skill, a student who starts stressing out more after struggling with it, or someone taking a moment to encourage another classmate. All of these little wins add up, and our students are showing responsibility, teamwork, and resilience, and these skills will help them well beyond the gym. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. Seeing no other takers, we'll go ahead and close public comment at 6:36. Move on to item 7, Policy Review Committee, 7.1, approval of updated policies and administrative regulations.
Thank you, President Scott. So this time, instead of having a board policy review committee, we went ahead and had a board workshop, as it was more of a higher profile update that we wanted everyone to be advised on related to the recent Supreme Court ruling on Mahmoud versus Taylor. And we have our new policies that we're very pleased to bring forward, policy and administrative regulation, as well as the exhibit that will help us implement this. And all of it boils down to additional opportunities to work with our parents as partners to ensure that we're meeting the needs of the students. We don't anticipate a very large change, as this is not an area where we have many complaints, and we're always able to resolve it at the school level. But this brings us into compliance with that new legislation or Supreme Court ruling, and ensures that we continue to have these options available for our families. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but we do have the recommended changes and the new exhibit attached.
Do I hear a motion?
Move to recommend action.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from the board?
I'd like to make a comment. When we do these policies, there are times when the law is set and it limits us of what we can or cannot do. So even with the boundaries, our policies that we come up with, or that we end with, are made with transparency for all stakeholders involved. And I believe that it also gives the parents options to do what they need to do with their child and their kid, and what they believe in their heart, what they need to do. So I feel that we spend a lot of time reviewing this and put a lot of thought into it. So this one was a tough one. And I appreciate doing everyone together too, when it's just big ones. So, thank you.
Any further questions or comments from the board? Mr. Ferris?
I would just like to comment similarly. I do appreciate the fact that we took the time to go through this to the degree we did and make sure we understood exactly where we were going. And this particular type of subject, I think, is one that is really sensitive because of the diversity we deal with in our community, in our state, in our nation. And there's a lot of concern about the level of respect for a family's beliefs and traditions. And I believe this takes that into consideration. And as I reviewed the final product, I believe it attributes the appropriate respect and the consideration for what people have to conclude, and gives them options to protect their specific beliefs in an important way. So I applaud what we're doing, and appreciate the fact that we've spent the time to go through this carefully and methodically to be as respectful and considerate as we can for all parties. We just have so many different kinds of thoughts and beliefs and cultures that it's a challenge. And I think this meets that challenge. So thank you for everybody's work on this.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Any questions or comments from staff or community? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. Move on, item 8, no educational administration. Move on to item 9, personal administration. 9.1, approval of incentive for early notification of retirement for 25-26. Mr. Alden.
President Scott, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Moore, faculty, staff, and community. We bring this to the board each year in the November meeting so that we can plan. And it's important to us that we really emphasize the fact that in no way is this an incentive to retire. We recognize the staff shortages that are felt across the state and the country. We'd love to keep all our teachers, all of our staff, everybody that works so hard on a daily basis. So we want to emphasize that this is not an incentive to try to talk someone into retiring. However, if somebody's made that personal decision, it is very helpful for us to know. And the earlier we know, the better we can recruit as we sign up for different job fairs and we attend different job fairs. They begin, actually, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools job fair is always the first, and that takes place in January. So as early as January, we're recruiting and regionally going to several universities and so forth. So it is important for us to know, and if somebody has made that decision personally, we just like to provide this incentive so that they'll communicate it with us so that we know that we're looking to fill a vacant position. So I would like to share a little bit of information regarding last year with regards to the cost. Last year we had 16 classified employees notify us within the window and 4 certificated notifications, and the incentive cost was $52,600. There's no way of knowing exactly how many will engage this year. We anticipate probably a similar number, plus or minus. And again, the emphasis is on notification and not on retiring. It's recommended that the board approve the incentive for early notification retirement program for the 2025-26 school year in the amount of $3,000 for certificated employees and $1,600 for classified employees who declare his or her intent to retire in writing within the applicable retirement window by no later than January 30, 2026.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from board, staff, or community? Mr. Ferris?
I would just like to comment, Brian, I really appreciate you making it so clear about this not being an incentive to retire. And I bring that up to the recollection and in memory of our former board member, Kurt Rockwell, who was clear every single time we had this discussion to bring that about. So I know he lives on with us, even though he's moved east. So thank you much for bringing that.
Maybe he stayed up late and he's watching.
He might be. I completely agree with everything you said. It just makes complete sense for us to approve this. Any further questions or comments from board, staff, or community? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous.
We've been forgetting our student board member.
Oh, Jasmine, because you were gone last week.
I know.
You should have. But what was your preferential vote, by the way? Okay.
Yes.
For
example, our ASB advisor is retiring this year. She's leaving really big shoes to fill. So I think having that plan and being able to, set all the things in motion to find somebody to fill a very important spot like that. Like, thankfully, we already have another teacher who's learning all the things and, learning to do all the things the way that we do them. So I think it's very important to have something like this in place.
And it's every
Yes.
position. Recruitment and retention for so many different entities is so huge right now. So the quicker we get on it, the better it is. So
Exactly.
But thank you. We had a motion and a second. Did we do the vote or not? We did the vote? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, Jasmine. You should throw something at me. Don't be shy.
Did you want to go back and get her vote on the policy?
What's that?
Don't worry.
the-
Approved.
The policy?
She didn't vote on the policies
Oh, yeah,
either,
yeah.
7-1.
Did you want to give your preferential vote on 7-1?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
See what happens when I have to read your report.
Yes.
We just fall apart.
Yes,
know, it's-
yes. We get out of sync when you're not here, so. We will move on to item 10, general administration, 10.1, designation of time, date and time of the organizational meeting of the board.
So at this meeting, we officially set the date and time of the organizational meeting, which will be next meeting, the next regular meeting, December 18th. And at that meeting, we consider that our organizational meeting with everything that goes on at an organizational meeting, president, vice president, certain committees and decisions such as that. So we would like to confirm that date. We do report it to the county and post it in various places to make sure that it's very clear to the community. And if there are any changes, we would need to know that at this time.
With recommended action?
Second.
We have a motion in 2 seconds. Any questions or comments from the board, staff, or community? We'll have a preferential vote from Jasmine.
Aye.
Thank you, Jasmine. Board, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. We'll move on to item 11, construction administration. 11.1, report to the board, construction activities and issues. Mr. Moore.
Good evening, President Scott, Superintendent Dr. Moore, members of the board, faculty, and community. Here's our update for facilities and construction for November. China Lake Junior High School, the expansion project is going well. Recently, a well-meaning person asked me, actually last week, why we're building more junior high school rooms if the junior high school is fitting all of our junior high schoolers. And my response was, we have to think more than these next year and a half. We have to think about how many sixth graders are scattered across the district and where we're going to place them. Not all at the schools of choice, but we have a junior high on purpose, and that's why we're making provision for them. Here's some of the look of our new job site there at the junior high. You can see, if you've ever seen a construction site, you know they have to excavate, over-excavate, plant all these substructures. I was by there yesterday and asking one of our diggers, okay, are we having a problem with the wet? No, they've already gotten down to the place where it's all loamy and sandy and it absorbs much more quickly, so it's not ruining anything. I was gratified to know this. Burying plumbing is more than just piling dirt on top of PVC pipes. Packing under and around them keeps them from breaking when we pile everything else on top of it. We're also preparing to pour curbs and other concrete, and then in December we should see some asphalt poured and pressed into place for the new staff parking lot. The curb forms and benders are all in place, ready for the concrete pours. By setting them all in this at the same time, we're going to save a bundle on just the concrete alone by pouring as much concrete at one time. That just makes sense. Last time I showed you Las Flores, let's see, it was all a demolition and ugly. Well, I wanted to show you something great here. We've got the reason it's there, and I will say thank you to the art people that have spoken. We are singularly placed to help almost 5,000 kids move forward effectively. I'm delighted that they're engaged. Great job. These elementary school kids love the colors, love the play. They love did I mention they love the play? Here it is, kids just loving this great big ball. Actually, Principal Sarah Tate and I were out there musing about what the maximum capacity could be for this thing. I think we came up with all of the kids at once is what I had to look it up to make sure. There's no way we could fit more kids than it can take, so we're good to go. I'm delighted to know that we overbuilt that. Oh, while we're at Las Flores, this happened on the 7th. Big shout out to RPD. They were on the site so fast, and they notified Shane, our Director of Maintenance and Operations. They were out there. SCE was out on the site and installing a new transformer the next morning. Power was back on the next afternoon, and students had no interruption. If you're looking at that saying, wait a minute, isn't that inside the playground? Technically it is, but it's not even in one of the areas where the children go. So it's out of out of the area where the children congregate. It's safe, and we're getting that replaced appropriately. Let's see, oh, it wouldn't be an update if I didn't mention Richmond, right? But these are the ballards, the concrete pilasters with a metal pipe around them out front so people don't drive into there, right? But look, we got a bunch of 4-foot-tall crayons sitting there now. So it's an elementary school, why not make it look like it? Actually, the fellow who put that on here, I said, could you take a picture of me? Nobody thinks I'm ever working. So he took my picture there. Throughout the district, maintenance and operation has addressed roof repairs over the last major storm, actually 1 month ago for our meeting, wasn't it? Water filters at every single drinking fountain in the district, replacement systems, the Richmond backpack hooks, the Buick asphalt repairs in the quad, even the shade fabrics replaced at Gateway and Pierce and Inyo Kern. Inyo Kern got a new playground too, I think. Yeah. As you tour the campuses, you see we've been repairing and repainting doors all over the district on top of the routine reactive maintenance and occurrences that we do daily. But that's my November update. Thank you, President Scott, Dr. Moore, board, faculty, and staff.
Thank you, Jeff. Do we have any questions or comments from board, staff, or community?
Just that when that car hit my lights went out in my house. And
At your house?
I was in the jacuzzi and the lights went out.
My heart weeps for you.
It got cold. I had to get out.
That wasn't on our list. I got a radio. Just let me know, okay? Well, but thank you. Most importantly, though, I meant it when I said we're singularly placed to help almost 5,000 kids. And so, sir, you were not on my priority list that
That's
evening.
all right.
Okay, thank you.
Move on to item 12, business administration. We have no items there. Item 13, we'll temporarily adjourn the regular meeting to conduct the Inyo Kern Schools Financing Authority Board of Directors meeting. I'll open up the Inyo Kern Schools Financing Authority. Move to item 1, adoption of the agenda. Any changes?
No changes.
Only item is approval of minutes of the regular meeting of October 16th, 2025. Any corrections? Minutes stand. We'll go ahead and adjourn the Inyo Kern Schools Financing Authority, reopen the regular meeting, and move on to item 14, consent calendar.
Move the entire consent calendar.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have a preferential vote from Jasmine?
Aye.
Thank you. Board, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Move on to item 15, future agenda. Future agenda items.
I'd like to
Mr.
add a
Johnson?
feature agenda item if you guys are obliged. I know, I've been driving around town the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed a lot of students on electric scooters and personally, I think they're unsafely riding on sidewalks and everywhere else. And I'd like to see if we can look at our policy and see what it addresses as far as school safety and scooters to and from school. I looked up our policy, and they're old, essentially before electric scooters existed. So it'd be nice just to update our policies and make sure they're current for student safety. So.
Any comments? Do we have a consensus?
Yeah, I think that makes
Yeah.
sense. Thanks.
And it sounds like it needs to be updated,
Yeah.
I think probably not going to have a lot of teeth in between a student's house and school grounds, but it might be something that we want to get with with the Ridgecrest Police Department, get our SROs involved. Obviously, the first thing is, when you buy a bicycle or a scooter, it doesn't come with an instruction book at what the rules of the road are.
Or the laws.
Yeah. So I think there probably needs to be some type of education that maybe we can work with SROs to get before.
But I think we need a policy that addresses it too, just for school
obviously
safety.
we need to update it.
And then the law and that stuff will follow. But if we don't have a policy, then we really have no grounds, once they come on school grounds, to do anything.
So I have to worry about those drivers too, where'd Sylvia go, Shirley, talking about too.
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of issues out there with bikes, scooters, vehicles. But yeah,
Well, and I think it's even a bigger concern now because we expanded our boundaries for school. More kids are doing it. There's a lot of congestion around Burroughs and China Lake Junior High, and there's a lot of kids riding scooters. So.
The thing that amazes me is that they're always on the wrong side of the road. And so as you get ready to
at
I totally
updating the
agree.
policies and look at what we can do to educate, because I'd rather educate than have kids get tickets.
If we only knew
Or
somebody
get
that did
into the
education.
thing is, get sold.
What was that?
See, if we only knew somebody that did education.
Yeah, yes, yes. Well, you want the young guys to come out and do that. I never had to deal with those electric scooters in the past. Any further future agenda items? None. Move on to item 16, launch. Speaking of, well, I learned a long time ago that there's something worse than missing the goal, and that's not pulling the trigger. Mia Hamm, I believe, soccer player, right? Mia Hamm, yeah. True. Item 17, adjournment. Next regular meeting of the Board of Education will be on December 18th, 2025. I also, like Dr. Moore and Sylvia, would like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy next week off. I wish we could make it 2 weeks, but we got to stick with the one. Have a good night. Drive safe in the rain.